For Boston and all who are curious and engaged, now and there is a public art curator that challenges our city's cultural identity by taking artistic risks and consistently producing compelling projects. Now, their projects are temporary and site-specific, hence their name. Now, their mission is to deliver thought-provoking public arts projects that advance new definitions of public art and help define Boston's essential public art identity. Now and There is led by curator, artist, and cultural changemaker, I like that term, Kate Gilbert, with support from a great board of directors and advisory committee. I know you have a team. Your team looks to build a public art city. We now welcome Now and Their executive director, Kate Gilbert, and fan of the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Hey, when are we going to do like an arts exhibit, something about the 80s?
Oh, I think we need to do that.
Yes.
Sometime before 2020.
All right, let's do it.
Big
All right.
dance party.
I will definitely. Oh, party and dance, definitely. I'm there. But let's talk a little bit about Now and There. I gave a little explanation why the name, but how'd you come up with this idea and why was there a need for this?
Well, there's such a need for this. Boston is an innovative, creative, global city, but our exterior doesn't really show that. It doesn't represent who we are as people and where our aspirations are going. It still looks a lot like brick and maybe some steel skyscrapers, but we don't have that vibrancy that art can bring about.
Wow, and we do need it because we're a very historic town, but we're very modern too, and I think that has to, there's a good mix there, right? There's a good range.
Yeah, there's a range, and we need to balance out what is the planned architectural city and what can be more spontaneous. We need those opportunities to come together, to get excited, and to also explore our differences through things that are temporary.
Well,
Yes.
we've taken a look at a couple projects because they're all different, right? We saw some in Roxbury, some along the river, and tell me about this one. This one was pretty interesting.
So this is Paul Ramirez Jonas Public Trust. We asked people to come and give a promise that they could keep. And we were doing this during the presidential election. So we had promises from both candidates and promises that were all found in the headline news that day. So this woman who promised to live, love, learn, and empower unapologetically on September 17th, 2016, was also giving a promise with Clinton and Trump. And I'm pretty sure she kept her promise and the others might not have.
That's interesting. And now the artist that did that was here.
Sylvia Chavez, she was on your program. I think you guys hit it off famously.
Yes.
She transformed the Esplanade mural wall there. It was filled with graffiti before. It was dark. It was pretty foreboding. And with this colorful design, she made it happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is this kind of the goal, right? You're taking all these artists and empowering them. We heard from Stephen Hamilton. He spoke wonders about the program. How did that make you feel?
It's so proud, so proud. I mean, right now, public art is a closed-loop system, so the people who have done it before get the projects, and so people who haven't done it but have that desire need an entry point, and that's what we wanted to do with the Public Art Accelerator, is really open the door and give them the tools that are necessary.
Let me ask you a question, because we've been talking a lot about public art, so some of that was public kind of property, right? What if there's someone watching today and has let's just say a big warehouse, or a big wall, or a big potential canvas? Can they also contact you guys?
Yeah. So with the accelerator, we're trying to pair those spaces. So there's lots of walls, there are properties, maybe abandoned, with the artists. I mean, there's so many artists with great passion that want to make this work happen. They just need the broker, and that's what we're trying to do. Especially with this next accelerator, the 2019 group, we're going to bring them, we're hoping to do a sort of speed dating between the property owners and the people that want public art and these artists we're going to get the skills, but also $25,000 each to make their projects happen.
I think you're onto something really, really big. I know you've been doing it now for like 5-6 years. It's growing, but I think the more visibility you get, I think no one can have a problem with this, but I think there's a lot of creative people, folks who don't know about this.
Right.
Are you familiar with what went on in Wynwood, Miami?
Absolutely. It's a great program.
Is that similar to?
We'd love to do something like that. I mean, Boston is a different city, and when we talk about building a public art city for Boston, we're talking about a cultural identity. So we're not going to just take what happened in Wynwood and make it here. We're going to take it and use it as an example of what we can do as Bostonians.
I think we need a mural representing what went on in Boston in the 80s. I'm going to keep hitting over there with the 80s.
That might be controversial.
No. So what happened in Boston in the 80s that you and I can remember, right? It was
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
I wore his number, 33.
That's my favorite number. I actually have all
That's
shirts.
mine.
Oh, so my email address is homerun33. Okay, so I think I beat you.
All right,
But anyway,
big 33 mural somewhere.
33. We had, if you just saw that last year, the big Bobby Brown and New Edition,
Yeah.
which was all about Boston in the 80s, right? So some music there. And
I think that's great, and we need to look forward. We need to look at what Boston wants to be as a city and use artists who are, Stephen Hamilton's age and even younger to say, hey, we need to think more about X, Y, and Z. All of our projects, part of the reason they're temporary is because they have some teeth to them. A lot of our artists were looking at gentrification, they were looking at issues of space and access, and they can be those sort of songbirds to lead us into the next place.
you talked about being a closed loop. How do you guys open that loop, and how do other artists become involved with you?
Well, so the Accelerator program is the best entryway in. You have to be nominated to be in that program. I can tell you, go to all the local curators and community artists and put your name in there, and
Yeah.
you'll probably eventually get into the nomination process. And we're also trying to really open up the process through lectures, panels, because it's just very, very complicated to do public art. You need to listen and be aware of the community that you're working with, responsible, but also there's permits, there's insurance, there's engineering, and it's a very, very complicated art form.
Well, you told me a little bit about the challenges, but what is kind of the most rewarding part?
The rewarding part for me is seeing the artists, and just open up and blossom, and then seeing the public come and be part of the work. We watch on Instagram and Facebook, a lot of people are still tagging Sylvia's mural, saying this is the favorite part of my run.
Yeah.
Seeing people interact with public trust. Even now, I still hear people saying, I'm keeping my promise. And seeing people just sort of come around the corner and go, wow. That, for me, is the most rewarding part.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds to look into
Okay.
that camera, like if it was a promo, and tell me why people should support this program or be involved. There you go. The city and the viewership is all yours, Kate.
Boston deserves to be a public art city. It deserves to have the visibility, everything out in the public that represents who we are. We are innovative, we are both historic as well as forward-thinking, and art is that thing that just unlocks creativity, new ideas, and beauty, joy, and wonder.
See, I knew you could do it. That's why I put you up there. I knew you could do it. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's Kate Gilbert.
Thank you.
All right, don't move, don't move, don't move, because when we come back, her story as opposed to his story, history. A bevy of female businesswomen and political leaders come together for a very special annual event here in town. We'll have more details in just a few. It took place yesterday. We'll have information right here on Urban Update.